Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, who performs as Kendrick Lamar, is an American hip-hop rapper who was born in Compton, California on June 17, 1987. He began his rapping career in high school under the name K-Dot. Pursuing music allowed him to avoid gang life, something his father and best friend had not been able to do. Kendrick found himself more inspired than harmed by the street activity that he saw around him. Growing up in Compton exposed him to the effects that poverty can have on an area. Armed with his background and experiences, Kendrick was able to unleash his creativity, which he explored in writing music. His goal is to use his talent to spread a message that is more than just the killings that happen in Compton.
And me, I'd rather talk about my reality. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about something a little bit more deeper than that. The reasons and the problem and the solutions behind it. It's a little bit deeper than just the music. It's cats out here really trying to do something and really trying to spark the idea of positivity in the community. It invites people in to get another perspective. It brings a whole another side of the world to Compton, to this backyard right here, and say, okay, these are actually people.
In 2015, Lamar released To Pimp a Butterfly. The album title comes from the name of a poem that Kendrick wrote and eventually reads to Tupac. Each song represents the additional verse that Kendrick reads out. Eventually, in the final track, Mortal Man, he reads the whole poem. The title of the album has many meanings to Kendrick. In one of his explanations, he tells how he was a caterpillar, a man in the hood who just survives by gangbanging and has not found his full potential. He cocooned himself because he was institutionalized and found himself trapped in the hood mentality. After self-reflection, he turns into a butterfly, someone who has searched in himself to become something more than a caterpillar. A butterfly has found its talents and has broken out of its cocoon. Institutionalized is the fourth track on the album. It addresses the idea of why he, and in a greater aspect, the Black community, have become institutionalized. Kendrick introduces that he is mentally trapped inside the ghetto because he has the same mindset that he did when he was living in Compton. This idea will be further developed as the song continues. If Kendrick were president, he would still do things as if he were in Compton. This shows how Kendrick is too institutionalized to think outside of the ghetto mindset. Everything Kendrick knows, he learned from his environment in Compton. Kendrick offers financial support to his friends. Even though Kendrick offers financial support, his friends still got an uncontrollable urge to steal when he saw the artists flaunting their watches. This ties into the idea of misusing his influence, a theme Kendrick portrays throughout the album. The hook is told from the perspective of his grandma, who says you won't see progress in life unless you clean yourself up and put the work in. Snoop Dogg describes Kendrick as a success. Then he introduces the second verse from the perspective of the homie that Kendrick took to the BET Awards. In the first line, his friend can't control his urge to steal after seeing the expensive items on the celebrities. The next 4 lines that follow describe how the celebrities are flaunting their money. King of Diamonds is an analogy of spending money on pointless things. During the recession, there is widespread poverty. The friend is criticizing the way that wealthy people spend their money. Instead of using it to do good by helping others who are in need, they spend it on their personal enjoyment. The friend then describes how you'll steal from the rich, but justifies it by giving it back to the poor. This alludes to the title of how if a person is institutionalized, they will have the urge to commit crimes in whatever circumstance. Kendrick recognizes that his grandma was right about not being able to change until you make the change yourself. Even after Kendrick's financial support, his friend still feels the need to steal. This proves the idea of institutionalization. In the outro, Snoop describes Kendrick again, but this time as a man who is unsure of himself. Although his talent allowed him to escape the hood, he still has a hood mentality. At the 2016 Grammys, Kendrick performed 3 of his songs from To Pimp a Butterfly. The performance saw many allusions to racial inequality, the prison industrial complex, and Black integrity. He walked on stage while shackled in chains, which alluded to mass incarceration in America. He then criticized white America.
You hate me, don't you? You hate my people. Your plan is to terminate my culture. You know you're evil. I want you to recognize that I'm a proud monkey.
He then shifts into All Right, a song about survival and hope that became a rally song for the Black Lives Matter movement, while joined by drummers and dancers in front of a bonfire. Lamar then debuted a new verse which alluded to the death of Trayvon Martin. The line said, "On February 26th, I lost my life too."
On February 26th, I lost my life too.
He ended the performance with an image of Africa and the word Compton on it. All of this ties into the message that Kendrick is trying to portray, the Black experience. Through his performance, Kendrick is speaking out against political correctness and addresses the harsh reality that many Blacks face because of their race. I feel personally connected to Kendrick and his music because he often raps about marginalization. My dad owns a construction company and employs workers who have been in prison. All of his employees are Black and were imprisoned when they were around the age of 18. The root cause of this is because they were institutionalized by the ghetto. All that they knew was to defend themselves and live by the kill or be killed mentality. They come from poverty-ridden areas with high crime rates, also known as primarily Black neighborhoods. These people were born with a disadvantage because society deems Blacks as a lesser race. If it weren't for this, they would not have grown up fighting for their life, and instead be given the equal opportunities that whites have, something Kendrick criticizes in his songs.